the Buddha himself has a permission us to do some research. So why shouldn't we do it? So then His Holiness opened the floor for discussion with the scientists, and now it's becoming very successful. To tell you the truth, I don't follow much about mind and life science with the conference, but then when I get some results hearing that what happened, and then scientists be very aware of His Holiness answers, and then now the stage is something in this level. Before they are saying, sorry, there's only brain and no special mind, which is not separate from the brain. So now scientists are a little bit curious about there might be a mind, because before they talks about brain, it gets something information and then sends to your other parts of body. And then now these days they are very curious and wondering how the meditation can improve the brain itself. Now they are saying some honest or not biased, unbiased scientists said to His Holiness, this is something that scientists, this is something new for scientists. So we cannot say yes and no right now, but in the future we really don't know. We might change our box and we might have a space to talk about it. But some scientists are saying, which are a little bit biased, saying, well, this, it looks like it's happening, but this couldn't be. So that means His Holiness is, for more than 30 years, he's been talking with scientists. He's not doing it promotion of the Buddhists. He is opening floor for whoever talks about mind and soul and something, the consciousness goes to the next life or goes to the God in heaven. So now people are not very aware of it, this kind of information. So when I look at His Holiness Dalai Lama, and His Holiness has 3 commitments. So do you know the 3 commitments of His Holiness Dalai Lama? So it is really a good teaching, actually, very simple teaching, that we should copy that. Because, for an example, His Holiness said, I am a human. As a human, I will try my best to contribute peace in the world. Isn't that beautiful? Right? So then second one is, as a religious person, I'm looking forward to religious harmony in this world. And then third one is, as a Tibetan, situation in Tibet is in a critical situation. So I will try my best to help Tibetan people and also Chinese people. So this is how, this makes His Holiness the Great. So same thing, like people in Israel, people like you, can do the same thing. As a human being, you can bring peace to the whole world, maybe slowly. Because His Holiness is easy, because he is a celebrity, and then everybody, everywhere he goes, and people listen to him, right? But for people like us, not very famous. So what we can do is start from our family, right? As a family, as a human, I want to bring peace in my family and my neighbors. So this is how the commitment works. And then religious. I'm a Jewish. So we need to keep our identity safe. And then show the other countries, neighbors, you are surrounded by what we call Muslim countries. And show what education can bring light in your own country. So in our, this is what I was told, that they don't have any access to any education. So I've seen some movies. From the movie I have learned, but they are not. I don't know if it happened or not, but then you see the one in the movie was showing something like a mother sent her kid to learn English in a school somewhere, and then the Taliban found it, the terrorist group found it, and then killed the mother and the children. And this is, he is saying, he is shouting, saying, we are not going to do against the will of the God. So, but you cannot, I don't think you can find Muhammad saying that you cannot study English. So, but in Israel, you have rights, you can study. And before I was a little bit brainwashed, and then Israeli people don't like Muslims. I do have this kind of a little bit brainwashed. So then when I was, Shalin told me that there are 2 million Muslims staying in, and especially this Tel Aviv is the place all people, all the what we call multicultural, all the work together. So this is a great thing. This is a great thing. And so, and now the best thing is to get educated. Let the Muslim in this community have some good access to education. And with the education, they will have a wider way of thinking, not narrow-minded. So then this is how you being as a religious, and you try to contribute something for other religious people. So you are doing the same job as Islam and Dalai. You should be proud of it. And the third, right? And you are, you cannot say I'm Tibetan. His Holiness is a Tibetan, as a Tibetan, critical situation. As Israel, you are in a difficult situation. And now, some people are not very happy with the politics. So slowly your children, you have to educate them and to show them the right path. There are not many politics saying compassion is the most important. You cannot find a politician saying this these days. But now, in the future, if you set yourself a good example to the your younger generation or your own children, and then children to children, this is how you make peaceful country. Don't brainwash them. Don't tell the bad things. What happened to us, what happened to our family, and those are the ones who killed us, and we had a fight. So we put an end to it through a peace, through a non-violence. So we can do it. So this is how I think I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. So this makes me easy for me to talk to you about this, because I feel this is the only way, actually. So now we have 20 minutes or what? 20 minutes? Okay, so do you have time for a question answers? So I was told that you people are full of questions. So I'm expecting questions. And maybe if there's no questions, then I can continue for 20 more minutes, and we can stop here and continue again at what time? 1:30. 1:30. 1:30? Mm-hmm. Okay. If you don't ask me questions, I will ask you a question then. So, if no questions, then we can talk about give me a best a point in your mind that why compassion is needed this time, this period of time. So because I said it's critical, we need it. So you give me some answers about it. And maybe you can say, oh, compassion is not very important, then we can debate. Maybe I can ask somebody, when we practice compassion, we think about suffering. So there are some sufferings that we cannot help the situation. So how do you face it? How do you overcome it? Anybody? Oh yeah, please.
You know that the Jews always ask, if you ask them a question, they will ask the question.
Okay.
So, I want to ask you, how can we be compassionate and violence?
Compassion. Compassion with violence? Violence. Okay. Towards humans. Towards. Okay. Okay. Very good question. So if there's a violence, we answer it with we have to answer with something, whether it is violence, whether it is inviolence, non-violence. So if you don't like, because we want to reply because we don't like the violence, so we reply with the violence, so situation always becomes worse. And whole world is suffering with this now. So now it is something we have already experienced it. We have done our best with violence. So we know it. Now there is only one way, that non-violence. So non-violence, we cannot say, we are not saying like Gandhiji, for Mahatma Gandhi. He said, if somebody is hitting on you, let them hit. If he is hitting you on your right cheek, let him slap on here, and you give him your other cheek too. You can hit here. So this is, sometimes this kind of practice is to make yourself ready for it. I'm not saying this is a message that we should do it. Let other people hit you. But then, what I'm saying, if somebody is harming you, then you should not see the only action. So you should go further than that. We should go to see the cause of why he is doing this to me. Why we normally don't do this, because when the situation becomes a worse situation, and then we only just cling to on the situation. We don't think about what's troubling him, why maybe he isn't happy with his family and he had a bad day, and then accidentally he met with me and something happened, and then he hit on me and something happened like this. We don't think about this. We just go, no, buddy, why you hit me? And where you have to say, it's really funny, because in India, one time I was going a taxi on the way to Delhi. So there was a small accident. So my car and the other one, a taxi, got accident, and then two engines, drivers, right? They was just looks like they were in a fight now, and then I want to stop it, but I want to be very careful too. I don't want to be in the middle and get beaten up. So I said, don't fight, let's talk. And then say, hey, you shut up. And they start quarreling, and then say, other person said, just hit me and I will show you. And then my driver said, you hit me first. So both are not hitting each other at all. So then at the end, other driver asked for one thing. He said, say sorry, and then everything is solved. And then I thought, come on, my driver, just say sorry. And then my driver, he said, you say sorry to me. And then another maybe 20 or 30 minutes, they start fighting on this. So then I said, please don't fight. So I say sorry, and if I give you some money, then if it can be settled. Then he said, no, you go. I have to teach him a lesson. That's his main concern. So same thing. This is just a story about my driver and the situation. We all are in the same situation. What has done is done. If there is something we cannot undo it. We cannot. Then we know it. If you're fighting and then your car becomes perfect again, then you fight it. But it's not happening. But you know you have to take it to technician, and then you have to make your car and then settle it with peace. Right? Sometimes two enemies becomes the best friend. But then we don't do it. But like my driver, he cannot apologize. He says, I'm sorry, everything is settled, but you won't do this because it fills your ego. So this is something you won't do it. So same thing. So answer to your question. So we know that most of the people know, like an example, if something is burning, you cannot put fire on it. because then it becomes more fire. And you cannot put kerosene or petrol or diesel or gas on it, because you know this will not make the situation end. It will become more. So now you have to put water on it. So same thing. If you don't want to make the small thing big, you have to close it down. Even you do have a right or not, you just apologize. You say sorry, and then make a common ground, and then. So that's why whenever His Holiness goes around, he said, "I don't feel I'm the Dalai Lama. I'm the most important. Then I feel only lonely." He says, "I'm one of you. I am the one of the 7 billion human beings. And I feel very touched. And then every people when I look at feels like very connected." So these are the very, very what we call precious teaching, I think. Otherwise you will feel very nervous. So today when I come here, I see you people same as me. I'm suffering, you are suffering, you are happy, I'm happy. We are in this situation. Everybody has small problems. Some might have a big problems. I do have big problems, small problems. So we are same human. And then where some solutions can help you, and your solutions can help me. So this is how His Holiness practice actually. So there's one great Tibetan master, Geshe Lungri Thangpa. So in his one of his verses say, I treasure all sentient beings, because from them I will get the fully enlightenment. So this is more related to Buddhist practice, but when you see, for us, when we think about all the human beings in this world, we might feel like not really connected. But we are dependent to each other. Like the Israeli country is dependent to the other countries. Some people think like, oh, we are the most powerful one. But the power, name, wealth, everything comes from dependent, right? Business. Arab or Israeli people need oil from Arab. America start war. They said it's protection for their own good. But still they depend on the Arab countries. Politics. Something when the reality comes, we should be very honest. We are really dependent on those people. So through this, our happiness comes, right? So this is what the Geshe Lungri Thangpa is trying to say. This is how he is practicing. So, sorry, my answer to your question was quite long, but hopefully you got my point. Yep.
How do you bridge the gap of
capitalist attitude that everything is money and interest.
Uh-huh.
And then you come, let's say you have an attitude, you want compassion to be the main thing in your life.
Mm.
And even like in the capitalist belief, they agree that helping others, they say it's good for you. It
Mhm.
makes you happy.
Mhm.
But they don't care about the consequences. I
Mhm.
mean, they're not altruists, they just want
Yeah.
their mind to be more happy. They
Yes.
don't care. For instance, like you talked about your shopkeeper, your friend,
Mhm.
and let's say this shopkeeper is organizing some donation,
Yeah.
and you know that half of the money he's putting in his pocket.
Yep.
But then, in the capitalist idea, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Because if you help him, if you take part in this donation,
Mhm.
you do it because it's good for you, and you don't care about the big picture,
Yeah.
where the money goes, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
For instance, this is just one difference
Yes.
that I say, this attitude. And also what you just talked about, being forgetful and forgive.
Mm.
If you're a compassionate person, of course you want to forget and forgive. But when you know that the person in front of you really wants to change,
Mhm.
that if they just want forgiveness, and then you know that they'll go, because of their attitude, they will go on
Mhm. Mhm.
with their abuse or whatever.
Yeah.
So what's the point of forgiving and forgetting if the
Okay.
person does not mean to change?
Mhm.
So this is how do you bridge between this attitude of the capitalist world and being compassionate in this Buddhist world?
So it sounds like you're asking me that I will go to this shopkeeper to shop again or not.
No.
It's some no.
Will you participate even if he's raising money for donation to other people? But half of the money he's putting in his pocket.
Yes.
But then, in our world, in the capitalist world, it doesn't matter because when you give the money, you are doing it for your own benefit.
Mm.
You don't care where the money
Yes.
goes.
So, like, country is dependent on the individual, the politicians. The politicians are influenced by the daily way of their thinking. So now let's go back to this shopkeeper. His own religion never talks about the way how he's thinking. But this is something he added on for his own good. So we don't want that to fake it. We want to study it. That's why I'm saying, like Israeli people originally are Jewish, so they need to know what the messages, good messages are, right? So they should try to practice that. If it is good, you buy it. And if you think it doesn't make any sense, then you can just leave it. For temporary, you can just say, okay, I am not understanding this one well now. But what you can see are talking about God, talking about compassion, and love, kindness. Those are the things. You don't need to put so many logics why compassion is important. You know compassion is important. Then you have to bring out